Hey everyone, and welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before, and if you haven't been here before, please subscribe to be a part of the bilingual family. So today we are in a slightly different background, a slightly different lighting, but that is because we're currently in my bedroom and we have me right here sitting on the floor, and that is because right next beside me on the left of my body we have basically the shelf that contains most of my makeup, or all of my makeup, and that is because it's time for our annual declutter. So today we are doing a declutter of my makeup collection. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to look at all of my makeup items and kind of see which ones I want to get out of my collection. Whether it's because they are old, because they are collecting dust, or because I no longer really like them. Now I do want to mention that most of these products that I will be decluttering will be going to friends or family, and it's not like everything I declutter is just going into the trash. That is definitely not the case. That is what we're gonna do today. Just want to make that clear, that it's not like everything is just going in the trash. I just give it to friends or family, and also everything that I kind of donate to friends or family, I do disinfect completely because I'm one of those people, okay? It has to happen. So let's start the annual declutter. Welcome to my makeup collection. This is basically all of the makeup that I own, and I have a few eyeshadow palettes right there. And then this part you can't really see it, but I have like these body glows, my Rare Beauty fixing spray, and one of my perfumes. This is Replica by the Fireplace. So yeah, as you can see, it's a little bit much. We need to get rid of some stuff, and there are definitely a few products that I have in mind to actually declutter. We're gonna start with highlighters. I have some maybe heartbreaking news to some of you, but I think I am going to declutter or sell my Auric Glow Lust. I do really like the formula, but it's just like the shade that doesn't work for me. I have used this, but not as much as I would have liked to, just because the shade isn't necessarily working for me, that I'm gonna have to part with because it's not being used because of the shade being too light. So you have to make some drastic changes sometimes, and this is one of them. Then one that I am going to declutter because unfortunately it is just like broken. This is so sad because this is one of the gifts that I got from my best friend. This is the Extra Dimension Skin Finish from MAC. This is one of the only like face products from MAC that I have. So yeah, unfortunately it has completely broken, so I'm gonna have to give up on this, but this was very well used and very much loved. And then one day I dropped it and I'm so sad, but yeah, this is gonna go into the trash unfortunately. So the Makeup Glowy Skin Finisher, I'm going to have to let this one go. It's not necessarily old, it is quite, I would say, recent to my collection, but it is just the wrong shade and it's not being used. So I think this could find a better family for sure. I don't want to do this, but I think I'm gonna have to because this is really old. This is the Nabla Glowy Skin Stick in Beige Mirage. I think I'm gonna have to get rid of this one because it is just very, very old. I think this is from 2018, so that means it's almost 5 years. But definitely 4 years, but almost 5 years. This is just way too old. Unfortunately, this is so sad because this is like one of my absolute favorite highlighters, but you don't want to create like a biohazard in a makeup product and on your skin, so I'm gonna have to toss this out. I don't want to. But that is, I think, everything when it comes to my highlighters. Others are pretty new to my collection or are products that I pretty much love, and this is also from like my project pan. So that's it when it comes to highlighters. Moving on to face products, which is what we have right here. So these are all of my face products. So we have primers, skin tints, normal foundations, and concealers. I do use these quite regularly. I think the only thing that I'm probably going to get rid of is this Essence Cutest Shell Face Glow Booster, this one right here. So this product right here, I think I'm gonna get rid of this. It's fairly new to my collection and I think I have only used it once, but I think I'm gonna get rid of this one because it is just not really my cup of tea. it is quite dry. It's not as glowy or moisturizing on my skin. I will have to let go of this product and again maybe give it to friends or family. Other than that, there isn't really a product that I want to sell in this category because I'm using probably like all of them in my project pan or on an everyday basis. So next up we have bronzer. So these are all of my bronzer. I have quite a few, and there are, I think, a few products in here that I am going to get rid of, or at least one that I can think of immediately. And that product is this Catrice Holiday Skin Serum Bronzer. It is a product that I have used once and I immediately knew that it was just way too dark for my complexion, way too orange. So I'm gonna try and find this a better home. So this is also going out of my makeup collection. This is to be decluttered. All of the other bronzers are pretty much staying in my collection because I do use all of these quite regularly. This one, Charlotte Tilbury, beautiful panned. One from Essence with obviously the lid off, panned as well. Patrick Ta, love it. The Vive one, I think I'm gonna add this in again, maybe a little bit of like a project pan situation because I haven't been really using this one as much as I would have liked to. But I also want to do like a full face of Vive one day in the future, so I'm gonna hold on to this. And yeah, all of the other ones are either favorites or project pan ones, Fenty Beauty bronzer, so I'm gonna hold on to these. I think the one other bronzer that I'm thinking of is this Nude Sticks Bondi Bay bronzer. When you take a look at it, this is the only product that I have left, so I think this will also be like a future project pan, so I'm not decluttering it. Next up we have blushes. Now, so these are all of my blushes, as you can see, bursting at the seams. I have to look through this, but based on first sight, e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in Always Peachy, I think I am going to declutter this one. So this is a blush that is very peachy, very orangey as well, but this is one of those powder blushes that unfortunately I am not the biggest fan of. I don't love it. It's just been kind of sitting in my makeup collection, so I think I am going to declutter this one, see if any friends or family would like to have it. Away she goes. Another blush that I think I'm gonna get rid of, this is quite recent in my collection, but I just don't really reach for it, and I do find that I have other blushes that are just better in general. This is the Makeup Revolution Cheeky Blush Shot in the shade Orange. I haven't really introduced this on my channel either, but this is a product that I think I've used it once, maybe twice, and it just didn't really blow me away as much as I wanted to, and I have so many blushes, so I think I'm gonna declutter this one as well. Okay, I have collected 4 blushes that I am going to declutter, apart from like the Makeup Revolution one. So these are the blushes that I am going to declutter. So these are the 4. So I'm gonna quickly tell you why I am going to declutter these. So this is the She Glam 101 blush in the shade Saint Tropez. Now this is a blush that I obviously use in like my She Glam video where I did a first impressions on the She Glam products. I was a very big fan of this like liquid blush from She Glam. This is the She Bloom. I don't have a preference for matte blushes. I don't really like this one. I don't really like the highlighter. And since I only used it in that first impressions, I think I am going to get rid of this one. Another one with kind of the same reasoning as the She Glam one is the NYX Bear With Me Luminous Cheek Serum, and I think I don't really know what the shade of this one is because it has disappeared. This one again is one that I haven't really used that one. It's a blush that is quite warm toned, and I was hoping that it would be a nice dupe for my Patrick Ta blush, but unfortunately it is not. It is a very strange orangey terracotta color, so I think this could go to a better home again, where someone would actually use this and it is the right shade for them. Another blush is the Essence The Blush in the shade Tender Fitting. This is a beautiful blush, but again, it's like a matte blush, and I don't really use matte blushes that often, so I think this again could go to a better home. And I do have like this Catrice one that I do prefer more. And finally we have the Nabla blush stick, again back from 2018, so not the best blush formula to keep around in my collection right now. I don't think I should be putting this on my face anymore, which is unfortunate because again, I really enjoyed this shade, but I'm gonna have to let go of it due to age. So I think when it comes to blushes, these are the ones that I'm gonna keep. So I am going to take a quick break. I am going to eat something because I'm slightly shaking because it is currently sometime in the afternoon, and then we're gonna continue with the top row and eyeshadows and also these things, because I have to talk about these things very soon, so I'm gonna quickly do that. Okay, so I'm back. I was talking about these two fellas. So these are the Lavish Bronze body clothes from Misada Milano. These are two products that I got in PR once. It was actually my first ever PR package, which was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I'm not really a body glow type of person, so I have actually never ever used these, especially not the darker shade, because I am very pale, as you can see. So I think I'm gonna sell these because they are unused, unopened. Then we have the Rare Beauty Mist, obviously keeping that one, and then we also have my Replica by the Fireplace perfume. This is also a perfume that I am going to keep because it's lovely and I love it so much. Okay, then we're moving on to the top part of my makeup collection. So we have lip liners. Bad news, I am keeping all of these, and same goes for my powders. I only have 3 powders. These are all of my powders, setting powders that I have, so I'm obviously keeping all of these. When we move on to a miscellaneous container of like eye stuff, I have to check actually what's in here, but I can already tell that these 3 cream gel liners from Colourpop are going to be decluttered because they are very old. I think some of these are from before Corona actually happened, so probably almost 3 years old, dried out and are not that great anymore, are not just like, they don't really perform anymore. So I think I'm going to declutter these 3 as well. Oh, this is the Revolution Ultimate Eye Base. I am also going to declutter this. I'm going to declutter this because of the fact that this is quite old, and also it never really worked for me. It's very light, and I know that a lot of people love that to kind of pop their eyeshadows, but it's just too light and very dry on my eyes, and I always kind of just use concealer, so I'm also going to give this to friends or family, I think. So bye! And I think the final item that I am going to declutter, and I'm being a little bit more brutal this time around when it comes to eye stuff, because I've just come to realize that whatever you have in your makeup collection has to be, or have to be, products that you really love and that you use because of the shade and the formula. If one of those two isn't great, then you're not going to use it, and I don't want makeup that just lies in my makeup collection, and this is definitely one of them. So this is the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick Magnetic Pull, but it's like this very light shimmery mauvey gray, and even though I think it's a very unique color, it's not necessarily one that I think suits my complexion, so I think I'm also gonna give it away. So I'm definitely gonna keep all of the other stuff. Okay, we have lip stuff. So this is my lip basket, which is completely overflowing, as you can see. So there are a couple of things that need to happen. I need to narrow this down for sure. There are some lipsticks and lip glosses in here that I never ever use, and that are probably completely unused as well. So I need to kind of get through this. So I'm quickly going to do that. Okay, so I completed it. So right here I have a few that I am actually going to declutter and also a few that I'm like hesitant about. These are the lipsticks that I want to get rid of, so I'm gonna quickly go over them to kind of tell you why I am decluttering them. First, we have these MAC lipsticks, again not cruelty free, but these are quite old. So we have the shades Faux, Chili and Peach Blossom. Now these have been in my collection for some time and I think it's time to actually get rid of them. I think some of these I have purchased in like 2017 or 2018, so that's 4 or 5 years. But yeah, these shades also just don't really work for me and I'm a little bit scared to actually let these touch my lips anymore, because you do kind of eat lipstick, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, these are gonna go in the trash and declutter from my collection. Then we have this Charlotte Tilbury gloss. It doesn't really say anything about like the product or something like that, but this is the shade. I think it's her famous shade Pillow Talk, but unfortunately Pillow Talk doesn't really work on my complexion. It just looks a little bit like grayish purpley, so I think I'm gonna give this to someone that I know will love this a lot more than myself. Another one that I'm decluttering, and this is actually I only swatched this once and I already knew that this was not a shade for me, and it's also not cruelty free. This is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Stone. I am decluttering this one because, like I said, the shade is not for me and it's pretty much entirely new. I think I only swatched it and then, like I said, I immediately knew. So this one is also being decluttered. This is the Soda We Got You Babe lip gloss in the shade Bronze Goddess. Now this is a beautiful gloss, but unfortunately I really do not like the formula. It's very chunky, very uneven, and not as glossy as some of like my favorite glosses, so I think I am also going to put this in the bin. Then we have the Catrice Clean Idea Ultra Shine lipstick in the shade Quite Peachy. This is a lipstick that I love the shade, I love the shade, but I absolutely hate the smell of this. And since I am very sensitive to scents, I just cannot get along with this. And actually smelling it now, it feels like it has gone off, because this is one of those like 95% natural ingredients, vegan and cruelty free. So I think this might actually have gone off already, which is something that just happens a lot quicker with like these natural products. So I think I'm actually gonna put this in the trash, unfortunately. And then these are the products that I'm actually like doubting a little bit. So we have this Kiko Milano lipstick in the shade Holiday Gems. It's again a very purpley grayish dark color on me, and I also find the formula a little bit uncomfortable. I think that I only wore this about twice. We have this Catrice Power Plumping Gel lipstick, and this is actually a red shade. But I feel like this shade is not the correct red for me, if that makes sense. These kind of bright reds just don't really suit, or I don't really feel comfortable in them. And as you can see, I think I only use this about 2 or 3 times max. So I actually think I am going to declutter this one. We have the Essence Shine 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 lip gloss, and I don't know the shade. I don't enjoy this formula all that much. It's very thick and very sticky and very opaque, not as sheer as I would like them. I like opaque lip glosses, but if they're not sticky, and this is unfortunately very sticky, so I have someone in mind that I can actually give this to. Now it's one of my nieces-in-law. I think she would enjoy this color a lot, and it's like fun to play with makeup, so I think I'm gonna give this to her. But yeah, I think I am going to, in the end, declutter all 3 of these lipsticks. Okay, and then we have eye stuff. Now in here, I don't think I am actually going to get rid of that much product, to be honest. I'm gonna have a look. Okay, so I found 4 products in the eyes category that I'm actually going to declutter. So we have this Catrice liquid eyeshadow waterproof. I just don't like this formula. It's very sheer and not as opaque. It's very patchy actually, and this is also quite old, so I think I am going to get rid of this one. Then we have 2 of the Kimchi Chic Pot de Crème, and these are the shades Sweet Dreams is the pink one, and the orange one is Soda Pop. Now I do love the pink and the orange one, but with the orange one you can already see see a little bit of separation happening. So that tells me that the product is probably not up to par anymore, which is quite sad actually. But again, these are quite old, so I think I'm going to get rid of these. We have quite a bit of soda makeup, but it's just like I bought a couple of stuff from them and I didn't end up liking probably any of them. So this is the Soda liquid eyeshadow in the shade Fairy Glow. This is such a beautiful shade. It's like a beautiful lavendery, shimmery lavender. And I really like the color, but unfortunately the formula is very sheer. Like it's nothing like the color that you can see on the wand and in the actual tube. Patchy. It's just not a very manageable to use actually, so I think I am also going to get rid of this. Other than that, I am keeping everything in this little box because I just really like these fun little things to play with. We're gonna move on to eyeshadow palettes right here. Oh yeah, I also have these like wet liners and split liners from Glisten Cosmetics. I am keeping all of those. Then we have this giant box, and this is unfortunately not all when it comes to my eyeshadow palettes, but I think most of these will stay because some have like a good memory attached to them, you know, nostalgic reasons. ABH Mon, Renaissance, Subculture, Soft Glam, and Jackie Aina, these are all staying in my collection, as well as my Nabla palette, my Sugar Pill palette, this other Nabla palette. Oh! This shade is actually broken. I don't know. Okay, that's not great. I'm gonna put this to the side for a bit so I can clean that up. I also have a few of these bite-sized eyeshadow palettes from e.l.f. This Catrice palette, 5 in a box mini eyeshadow palette. I think I am going to maybe declutter this one because I haven't really used it that often. It's a beautiful palette, but just not really anything that I enjoy anymore these days. And I think someone else will enjoy this a lot more. When I compare it to just all of the palettes that I have in my collection, which is quite a lot, and I have some over there as well, yeah, it's just too many to be honest. And I also have like this new Rare Beauty palette that I'm going to discuss soon. This one from M Cosmetics is staying. The Beauty Bay Pastels palette, I love this, but it's extremely fragile. But I have to use this more actually. And then I have these two palettes, the Mesada Milano Lavish Bronze palette, Huda Beauty palette. Now these two palettes are palettes that I was gonna do a dupe video on, but I have not, and I haven't been really using them too often these days, so I don't really know what to do with these, but I think I am going to keep them for now. I changed my mind actually. I think I am going to give this to someone who will enjoy it more. I think I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty one, but the Mesada Milano one, I think I know someone who will really enjoy this, so I'm gonna declutter this one as well. Other than that, I don't see myself actually decluttering any of these palettes because like I said, they have some sentimental value or just are palettes that I enjoy using all of them together, so this one is going back. We have some more eyeshadow palettes. By the way, my Nika Tutorials X Beauty Bay palette is currently at my aunt, and I am going to get that one back soon, but I'm obviously not decluttering that one because it's one of my favorites. However, this palette right here, the Kiko Milano one, is a palette that I am going to declutter. I got it, I think, as a gift, and I played with it a few times, but these shades are not really my cup of tea, so I think again I'm going to find someone that enjoys this a little bit more. Beauty Bay Love Notes palette staying. Vive no, what is this called again? Vive 90s palette staying. These are individuals and I am absolutely keeping all of them. Now the right side actually of this palette is something that I want to keep them, but I never use them, but I think I'm gonna keep them for now. Then Carnival XL Pro palette. There have been so many of these like Carnival palettes right now that I don't know what to do anymore. And yeah, it's just a nice all-around palette. It has almost every color that you could possibly need, so I'm keeping this. Also keeping the Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. I've been playing with this again recently and it's very nice. Also keep on my Juvia's Place what is this called again? The Magique palette. This is very nostalgic to me. It's a great palette with very nice shimmer, so I'm also keeping this one. So next to my bed I have a few other palettes, so I'm quickly going to get those. Okay, so these are the final palettes that I have in my makeup collection, and these are like, they sit beside my bed and they're currently covered in a bit of dust. So that should actually tell you something about these palettes. So we have an individual palette again with some of my Nabla shades. Again, for now I think I'm going to keep these, but I'm definitely going to look at them in the future and see what I can do with these, because I actually never use them. But I'm going to put them into this shelf so I can actually use them more. This Essence Ho 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 eyeshadow palette, I also take a look at my channel, but I think this is 2017, 2018 limited edition, never used it since then, so I am going to declutter this one. Juvia's Place Afrique palette. This is a beautiful palette. I really like the color scheme. This was in my project pan for a while, but unfortunately I am very confused sometimes when it comes to the color palette because I don't really know how to match these shades. But also I think the biggest problem that I have with this palette is that I don't really like the formula. The shade that I like the most in this palette is probably Angelique, this like silvery shimmer that's really nice, and then Kissy. But all of the other ones are a little bit dusty, a little bit gritty, a little bit just very patchy as well. So I actually think I have palettes by Juvia's Place like these three right here, and then also like my Magique palette that I prefer more, so I am going to declutter this one. The Revolution Ultra eyeshadows. Oh, this is one of the very old Revolution palettes. If you have been in the makeup game, you probably recognize this. I think I got this as a gift with one of my purchases, like when you spend a certain amount of money, you get a free palette kind of thing. Never ever use this. This is untouched because I just don't like these shades, so I am going to declutter this and probably give it to someone who will enjoy this a lot more. The Kimchi Chic Mango Tango palette. This is beautiful. I think I am going to keep this one. I love Kimchi Chic Beauty. There are a few new products that I would like to try, and I think I'm gonna continue using this palette in the future as well, so I'm not decluttering this one. And then finally we have the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette. This is such a throwback, but this is a beautiful palette. My only issue is these are like pigments, so they are pretty much unusable. Like, it's not necessarily a big problem that these are very pigmented. That's not the issue. The issue is that they are extremely hard to blend, and they can really stick to any kind of base that you have, or they can turn very patchy very quickly. So this is a palette, unfortunately, that I think after all this time that I am going to declutter. I think it's time. It's very old as well. Okay, so I think that's actually all makeup that I have. So I put all of the products that I decluttered in a box. So this is what we have done today. So I think not a bad thing at all. We have like 4 palettes, 5 blushes, few highlighters. We have a little bit of everything. So after I film this video, I am going to like separate the ones that I am going to give to someone, to friends or family, and then the ones that I think I could probably sell because I have never used them. And then also some of these that are so old. There are a few, I think about 3 or 4 products that I will have to check into the bin, which is not as bad as I actually expected, but most of these are going to friends and family, if you were wondering. And yeah, that's it. I think that's the annual makeup declutter. So this is my makeup collection right now. It's definitely gotten a little bit more clean, a little bit less overflowing as well. I think I'm gonna do like a makeup inventory video so we can see how many items we have left compared to like my previous makeup inventory before I did this declutter. Okay, slightly different background, but this is what we're gonna have to do today. So that's the video for today. That was my declutter, my annual declutter. Thank you so much for watching, and please do watch my other videos if you enjoy, for example, project pens. and tease, any kind of makeup tutorials as well, and just a lot of fun with makeup. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!